Now for what's trending in true crime, an Indiana community is asking for a change in the child welfare system after a 5-year-old girl was allegedly starved to death. Kinsleigh Welty was found unresponsive in a closet earlier this month, weighing less than she did when she was 2 years old. She had feces caked on her hands, in her hair, and on her feet. First responders saw brown handprints on the closet door where she was held captive. Her grandparents said that they feared this would happen.
We don't want any more kids to have to die because of the failure of the system. It's not right. She was in our home, and she was safe, and she was loved, and she was handed back to her abuser.
When she came to us the second time, she was bruised from head to toe. She had clumps
of hair
missing throughout her whole head.
And she was given back.
And she had already tried to starve her to death when she was 3 weeks old. And they gave her back.
Kinsleigh's mom, Tony McClure, McClure's boyfriend, and McClure's mother were all arrested. The mother has been charged with murder and has a history with DCS. She was jailed when Kinsleigh was just 3 weeks old because the baby was malnourished. So our question this morning, should family reunification always be the goal? We have 3 great guests here to talk about it. In the studio with me, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, and entertainment lawyer Daryl Cohen. Standing by remotely, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Joe Tamburino. And with us remotely, the former director for the Department of Family and Children's Services in the state of Georgia, Mr. Tom Rawlings. Great to have you all here. And Tom, I'd like to begin with you, if I may, please. Reunification, when you have indication after indication, proof after proof that there's abuse going on in the home, and yet the child is being returned again and again and again. It sounds like an idiot drill, yet it keeps happening. Please tell us why reunification is the goal, and should it be, in your expert opinion?
Thanks, Julie. It's good to be with you. You know, reunification can be a good thing because keeping families together and we can fix family problems is what we should be trying to do. In this situation, unfortunately, we're dealing with a case where this child was horribly neglected, abused, even when she was a tiny infant at 3 weeks old. It looks to me like your viewers need to know, what did Indiana Department of Children's Services do about the situation? How was it that they continued, time after time apparently, to remove this child and then simply return her to the same horrible circumstances in which they first found her back in 2018.
Tom, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's exactly what the prosecutors on this case are asking. I have a clip about that. Let's take a look.
DCS was at the house the day that this child passed away, and they were not aware, or when they made that house visit, they certainly didn't uncover or appreciate what was going on inside the house. And so I think that poses a lot of questions for us as a prosecutor's office.
Okay, he spoke very softly there, quietly. Let me just repeat the first line. DCS was at the house the day this child passed away and had no idea. Daryl Cohen, what do you think when you hear that?
Hear no evil, see no evil. You have to open your eyes. I don't care if you're a lawyer. I don't care if you're a social worker. It doesn't matter who you are. You have to be aware of circumstances. And here, it's even more telling, Julie. Why, when she had a previous history of being abused, why wasn't the social worker more aware? There is no excuse, less than no excuse.
You're absolutely right, Daryl. Joe Tamburino, I want to go to you on your legal opinion, please, about reunification. Why a court would want to reunite a child? Do you agree that maybe changes need to happen? Maybe that shouldn't be the goal all the time? Your thoughts, please.
Good morning, Julie. Thanks for having me on. Reunification has to be the goal, and here's why. What you're trying to do is help families fix problems. I mean, I've done criminal defense work now for many years, and I've had many clients who have had some drug issues, alcohol issues. We work through the process. They go through DCS. They do parenting plans, and many of them, by far the majority of my clients, have come out okay. and they get reunified with their children. So reunification has to be the goal to try to keep the families intact. However, I agree with your other guests. In this situation, it doesn't appear like the DCS workers did their due diligence. I mean, because you had some glaring examples of abuse. Additionally, Ms. McClure, the mother in this case, she was already prosecuted and served jail time, I believe in 2018, because she was a neglectful parent. So, you know, the writing was on the wall in this case. But overall, I still think you have to have reunification as a goal.
Joe, thank you for that. And speaking of the mother's past conduct, I'm glad you brought that up. Something that's sinister, sickening, puzzling. It says that she had multiple boys who were all mistreated. We gleaned this bit of information from court documents we poured through. Multiple boys, all mistreated, but none of them treated as badly as little Kinsleigh was, her daughter. None of the boys were treated the same way her daughter was. Tom Rawlings, what do you think when you hear that?
Yeah, so when I hear that, Julie, my first thought is, was it because of who the father was? The father here was a guy named Welty, obviously. I don't know if it was because she had a problem with him. I don't know if it was because she had some kind of misogynistic tendencies. She didn't want a little girl. But as the grandparents noted, she had apparently just didn't want this particular child and targeted this particular child from the beginning. And we do see that sometimes where one child is singled out for especially bad treatment. And it's really a psychological issue as much as anything else.
Tom, appreciate it. I want to show everyone the charges. So we've got Tony McClure and Ryan Smith. We've got McClure charged with murder, criminal confinement, battery on a person under the age of 14. Boyfriend charged with 3 child neglect offenses, 1 count of criminal confinement. Joe and Daryl, I want to tap into your experience as criminal defense attorneys and talk what possible defense strategies may we have here. And I'd like to assign each of you one of the defendants. So let's start with Mom. Okay, Mom, allegedly the worst actor here. Daryl, let me go to you on her. How might you defend this if you're tasked with representing her?
That's a case I would not take. But if I did take it, if I was forced by the court or asked by the court, the first thing I would do is have a psychological evaluation, both by a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and show that Mom has mental problems. I would also show that in spite of the fact that there had been continuing abuse, that had the Department of Services, the child welfare people, had they done their job, that Mom would have been prosecuted not for murder, but for a lesser crime. So what I try to do is bring it out, because it's going to happen anyway, and then try to make it a little softer for Mom. But honestly, it's very difficult to represent someone, not what they're charged with, but what they have done. Not just the charges, but the acts.
No, certainly, Daryl. I know criminal defense work is a tough thing to do. And I always say, don't get mad at the attorneys. They are just standing up for the law and doing what the law requires. Joe, to you next, please. Let's talk boyfriend, Mr. Ryan Smith here. His charges, we're talking about, you know, criminal confinement, child neglect offenses, not murder. How do you handle the boyfriend, Joe, if you're repping him?
You blame Ms. McClure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. She's the mother. She's the one with the prior record. You blame her. I mean, that's going to be part of my defense if I represented him, that she was the main actor. He hardly knew what was going on. He assisted only in a very small role, and he's very sorry for that, and you try to get a lesser included.
Right. You know, I wonder if they may try to get him to... you wonder how much information they need, if they need him to flip on her. Who knows? It seems pretty glaringly obvious to me what was going on with that poor child, and how DCS didn't see it is unfathomable. We'll continue following this case very closely. May little Kinsleigh Welty rest in peace. May she get justice. A big thank you to Tom Rawlings for coming on the show this morning, lending us his expertise. Tom, thank you kindly. We'll see you soon.